Breaking news out of Major League Baseball, and it is monster news. Fernando Tatis Jr. will be suspended 80 games for violating the league's PED policy. That suspension will sideline him for the rest of the season and make him ineligible for the playoffs. Tatis is yet to make his debut this season after rehabbing from wrist surgery. He suffered a apparent motorcycle accident, and right now the San Diego Padres hanging on to the third wild card spot in the National League. And this news is bombshell news. Fernando Tatis Jr. again suspended for 80 games for violating the PED policy. All right, and for more, let's welcome in former World Series champ, won a World Series with the Red Sox in 2013, Will Middlebrooks. Will, your reaction here, Fernando Tatis Jr. suspended for 80 games, violating the PED policy.
Disappointed, man. This is one of the stars of the game. Even though he's missed so much time with injury, he's still considered one of the faces of baseball. As young as he is, the contract he signed, on the uprising team that he's on, that is on such an uphill climb to become this monstrous team that can take down the Dodgers every year. It's a letdown. It's a letdown to not only me and fans of baseball, but to kids. This is massive, and it will tank the rest of his career, unfortunately.
So he has not made his season debut, and this takes us back to the mysterious offseason. He had surgery on his broken left wrist. It was reported he had a motorcycle accident back home in the Dominican Republic, and when a reporter asked when was the accident, Tatis responded, which one? So multiple motorcycle accidents, and then now being caught for cheating, violating the PED policy, which, again, it holds an 80-game suspension. He is done for the season, will not be able to play in the playoffs. I mean, this is a major blow to San Diego and what they were trying to build here on the heels of trading for Juan Soto. I mean, this is the type of news here, as you just said, this is going to follow him for the rest of his career. What is going to be the response here from Tatis?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm sorry I screwed up, but I mean, I think he's more sorry he got caught. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't tainted protein from GNC. This is an anabolic steroid. This is something that is supposed to imitate human testosterone, so it's not traceable in tests. It has to be given through a syringe into your vein. Like, this isn't an accident. This is something that he's been doing over time. Why? Why is the question? Well, it can help you heal faster from all these injuries, from surgeries. You come back bigger, faster, stronger. It's easier to stay healthy. I understand why guys are tempted to take these things, but it's against the rules. And like you pointed out, multiple motorcycle accidents, it sounds like. Well, in most contracts, and I would think of someone worth that much money and that big of an investment by an organization, that just like my contract was, which was making league minimum for 3 years, you can't be on ATVs, you can't be on motorcycles, anything, snowboarding, skiing, all that is in your contract you can't do. So he clearly broke the contract by doing that, and this takes it even further. I mean, they just wanted to get him healthy and get him on the field, but like I said, this is something that will follow him the rest of his career.
So, again, he signed a historic $330 million contract after his second season in the bigs. I mean, this is a guy that was going to be a superstar in Major League Baseball, and he still can be, but this is going to be really difficult to overcome when you consider the stakes for San Diego. When you trade for Juan Soto, this is win now mode. This is a chance for them to make their mark. And of course, they're not going to catch the Dodgers being some 16 games out of first place, but it's just at this point try to get into the dance and try to make some noise in the postseason. Now you have this news, and this is not only shocking for San Diego, but as you said, for the entire Major League Baseball world. What can be done now from San Diego's part with the contract, considering that they signed him just a couple years ago to this monster deal?
Yeah, I don't know what kind of small print is in his. Every contract is different. Our Jim Bowden would be probably a better guy to answer that question of the ins and outs of big contracts. I never had any massive contracts. I made no more than maybe 1.1, 1.2 in a season. I wasn't making $30, $40 million a year, so I have no idea what they built into those. but this is a distraction. This is a team who is climbing for a wild card spot. As you said, they're not going to catch the Dodgers. The Dodgers are just too good. They have too big of a lead. But for the next 2 years, even when Tatis comes back, this is an 80-game suspension. When he's back next year, it is going to be a distraction. Are you ready to play? You missed all this time. How do you feel? How is your legacy tainted? It is going to be in their clubhouse for years now because he did this so early in his career. And I hate that because of the player he is, what it seems like the person he is. I'm not going to sit here and crush someone and tear them down over a mistake that a kid made. We forget that he's in his early 20s and he's
23 years old.
At the end of the day,
but his dad played in the big leagues. I mean, he's not dumb. You're going to take steroids.
No.
What do you think? You're not going to get caught?
This was not a mistake. Like I said earlier, this was a choice he made. This isn't something that was by accident. This drug that he was taking is an anabolic steroid, and it has to be injected into your body over and over again. This was not tainted protein. This was not a pre-workout. This is not a foot cream like we saw with Freddie Galvis back in the day. This is he's a syringe, and he's putting steroids into his body. This was not a mistake, and he's going to have to pay for it.
He's going to have to pay for it for sure. And look, there are 48 games left in the regular season for San Diego. So he's going to miss the 48 games rest of the season. Then it's going to tack on another 32 for next season. So we're talking about already a delayed start to his next season when he makes his debut. If you're a player in the clubhouse, Will, if you're in that San Diego clubhouse, how are you feeling right now?
I know how well received he is. I know how much those guys really like him as a person. But behind closed doors, they're angry. They're mad. This is a guy they lean on. The motorcycle accident is one thing, right? That accidents happen. Yeah, should he have been in that situation? Absolutely not. Accidents happen. This was put on himself by himself. He did this to himself, and it's going to hurt his team. It's going to hurt the future of this team. They're still loaded. They're still a really good team that can compete, but this team is built around Fernando Tatis Jr. for the next 12 years. So he's going to have to come back and make a big splash. And I hate to say this, but unfortunately, it's a result-driven industry. And if he plays well, people will forget about it until that day comes when his name is on a Hall of Fame ballot, and it will all be dug up again.
Man, this is crushing news.
I hate it.
For baseball fans, for you and I who love baseball. I mean, we are diehard baseball fans. Of course, you played in the major leagues. You know the ins and outs. You played on a World Series club, won a ring. I mean, this is not just, and no disrespect to some of the guys in the back end of a bullpen. This is a superstar in Major League Baseball. I mean, this is basically, this is huge, and this is unfortunate.
His face goes
for
on video games.
Yes,
his face is on magazines. It's on the front of the newspaper. It's on every baseball card a kid wants. They want the Fernando Tatis card. They want his sweatbands. They want his shirts. They want everything he does. They want to have the dreads, headband, everything. He's that's the player we need to grow the game. So this slows the growth of baseball, in my opinion, when something like this happens to a player like that.
Well, you wonder why fans become so cynical and so critical of a sport. And it's moments like these, historic moments like these, when a guy of his caliber and his ability is suspended for 80 games because of a PED policy that he violated. It's unfortunate news. It is, but we're in the business. We got to give you the news. We got to tell you the news. We got to tell you how to potentially feel about the news. I'm sure baseball fans all across Major League Baseball are kind of frustrated with this, considering his capability and his potential. But again, this is a big time news. 80 game suspension for Fernando Tatis Jr. violating Major League Baseball's PED policy, ineligible for the postseason. We'll appreciate the perspective here on CBS Sports HQ, jumping on with this news happening at this hour. Again, look, when all of us woke up this morning, I don't think anybody thought that we were going to be talking about Fernando Tatis Jr. getting suspended for 80 games because of violating the PED policy. I mean, this is a guy of 5-tool shortstop. This is one of the guys that could be a Hall of Famer. I mean, he finished top 5 in MVP voting the last 2 seasons before he turned 23. He's 23 years old right now. And now this is just a huge, huge stain on the beginning of his career.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.